Welcome back to another Tech Talk right here at the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce in bright, beautiful Cambridge, Ontario. This Tech Talk is always brought to you by AML, amlcares.com. And also, you know my geek that's always with me, Adam Oldfield from FPM Marketing. Adam, great to see you. It's been a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, you know, and tech is changing by the day.
Hey, you know what's kind of interesting?
Yes, sir?
Is that you must be sneaking around at head office in the back room, storeroom of AML, because you've brought something kind of cool, and there's a whole lineup of people down there waiting just for that one.
You know, walking out of the store, I actually, it took a while. I had to, like, you know, beg, plead, fight, and kick, and all this, and it was still in the box. So as I saw even, like, the people standing in line going, I'm waiting for my iPhone, you know, I walked by everybody, and then I walked out with the phone. It was a little bit of a, what's up with this guy? Why is
Ladies and gentlemen, in Adam Oldfield's hand right now, from the back room of the AML head office, is the iPhone 5.
Yeah, this is latest and greatest, off the press. And, you know, it
must be spectacular.
It still has fresh phone smell.
If they're lined up to get it, and they can't wait to get it, it must be unbelievable.
You know what? It's not as great as what I think.
What?
Yeah, you know, there's now.
But it's an iPhone. They're the king, aren't they?
Now let's talk. Let's talk practical here. Now
I'm being sarcastic, you know, because you know what's on my head.
I know, and we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll come to that, and that's going to be an exciting discussion too. Yes. But what is neat about this? First of all, it is true. It's a little taller, still the same width. It is lighter. It's about 28 grams. It is very light. The Retina display is amazing. The camera, forward-facing, obviously best. One thing is that it's still an OS 6. If you're running the 4S or even previous to that, you can upgrade to the OS 6, and you're going to see a lot of the same features, such as the map that gives you the wrong address. So, and this new feature, if you've got an iPhone, you probably know what I'm talking about. They got this little button down below here. You probably can't see it, but it says 3D. And you know, you click 3D, and it instantly gives you a little bit of a 3D feel, but it's not really. Is it really that amazing? Not really. It just kind of bends the map a little. It's not even. It's just like I don't know if that's 3D or not. Yeah, it's 3D. It's just kind of like it kind of rotates a little.
Yeah, you want to play.
It's not bad. Yeah. I used it twice today on the highway,
and you were trying to find the office, which you've been to 100 times.
As I did with you, I tried to find the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce,
and what did it give you?
It gave me everything but. And you know, I mean, I even gave an address that's been around for 30 years in Hamilton, and it put me in Peterborough. And I was like, wow.
Did a great job at mapping out directions from here to Halifax.
It did, actually. It's
unbelievable.
Of course, I didn't say where in Halifax, so can't go wrong with that.
Lucky you didn't, because it wouldn't have been able to give you that.
Yeah, so other than, you know what, the map definitely it's bad. It's not good, and they know that, and they had to work on it, and it's got the compass on it, you know, as I'm turning it, our thing's spinning. But maps on, I brought the Galaxy S3 just to give a comparison, because this is still the hot phone on the market that's really the iPhone competitor. What's interesting is that, you know, you take both of these phones, you can take the iPhone and literally you can fit it in a Galaxy S3. That's interesting. But you do get more real estate. So you got the brick and you got the mini brick. What is neat about this, though, is that it's very, very voice recognition way improved. Siri, when it first came out, had a lot of complications. Took a while to really load, took a while to really comprehend, but the big thing I've really recognized is that even writing emails by voice recognition, and I swore by this in our earlier Tech Talks, voice recognition is the future. Oh, yeah. You got your apps and voice recognition.
You're big into it, but you like to talk.
Oh, I just can't shut up. I hate typing. I am the worst typer ever, but if I could send audio recordings everywhere.
I get your emails both in voice and type, remember?
So now I can be able to do it. Now this does it great. For example, the two differences between the audio recognition on this one versus this, I can say new paragraph, new line, and it's pretty bang on. Not only that, it records your entire conversation first, then it spits it out. And we did a test, and when we did it, it literally pumped out a good...
It was exact.
2 paragraphs minus period, period, period.
Well, when you did that, it just spelled out the word period. But maybe...
Just because I used the period word twice. But if you say it once...
dot, it would have said dot.
That would have probably did it.
Yeah. I think you got to really push the key to get that.
To get the effect.
Well, that's kind of a corny way of pausing.
Well, however they did it, it was good. Now on this one, you can't make a new line. The word "hi, Greg" will be lowercase hi, and you can't do a new line. You have to stop, pause, go to new. So it's a little cumbersome, and the new operating system for the Android will be way more advanced. It's preloaded, loads a lot quicker, so that will be improved. But really the key thing for business, this is the one that I actually gave the Galaxy S a test. And I think I mentioned that when I first did the analysis. I wanted today on our Tech Talk to just show the comparison against the voice assistants. Yes. So Apple's Siri versus the Galaxy S.
Ooh, here it is.
So we're gonna do the same questions across the board, and we're gonna see time it takes to answer and is the answer correct. Okay. Okay. That will be our test today. So we're gonna go to the.
I like tests.
Tests are fantastic.
Not when I have to do them, but I like tests.
So so I'm gonna hold down the button here.
Okay.
What is the temperature in Cambridge?
It's 20 degrees right now.
Thank you, Siri.
That's great. All right. So let's do the same thing here. What is the temperature?
Network error. Please try again.
Okay.
Hold tight, please.
Yes.
Let's try this one more time. Hang on. What is the
network error? Please try again.
Well, this isn't going well for Galaxy so far, is it? So let's go. Let's try. Let's give it a chance. One more time, Galaxy. So we already know the temperature. What is the temperature in Cambridge? What's the temperature? Still waiting. We'll try this one more time. What is the temperature in Cambridge?
Okay. Tick-tock.
Here is the weather for Cambridge, Ontario.
Oh, thank you.
But it didn't say what the temperature was.
Oh, yes.
But Siri did say what the temperature is.
You know what? And that's
Siri's maybe better educated.
Maybe. Well, you know what? It has had an opportunity to be able to work a little bit. I mean, it's been around, but this kind of example where again it takes so long on the Galaxy S. And some of the testing we did before was not very impressive. But just to
And I think if you're going to be into voice recognition, you need it to react faster. Because we talked about earlier.
I didn't get that.
Oh, she's listening. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yes?
Well, listen closer. When you did the test earlier about scheduling an appointment and all that kind of stuff, it just seemed that if I had a pocket daytimer, I could have flipped it out and wrote it down a lot faster than the Samsung, and yet it really seemed very, very quick on the Siri.
Yeah, well, you know what, and again, one of the things I really like about this is it is a virtual assistant. Let's just do a quick example here. Schedule an appointment at 10 a.m. tomorrow with Greg.
Okay, here's your meeting. Note that you already have an appointment at 10 a.m. Shall I schedule it anyway?
Yes, please.
Your event with Greg is scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Very good.
That is good. So let's just do another one here. Move my 10 a.m. tomorrow with Greg to 3 p.m. in the afternoon tomorrow.
Okay, I'll make that change to your event. Are you ready for me to schedule it?
Yes. So
I'm impressed.
Your event is scheduled for 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Very good.
So I would do it with this, but we don't have enough time on this film, nor do people have all the time in the way. But now the one that I always found was interesting is that we used a few jokes about what what this does, what it doesn't do, all that kind of stuff. But let's do one that we've seen on the commercials. Tell me a joke.
How many iPhones does it take to? Okay, never mind.
All right, let's see if Galaxy can do just as good. Tell me a joke. Let's just see what happens. Let's wait for the joke.
Yeah.
We're going to think about it. Oh.
I'd rather you tell me one.
You know what? We've done a few tests on Tell Me the Jokes. Galaxy wins. As far as the humor, just takes it a while. It's got to think about the humor a little better, right? So it's a little rough on sort of coming up quickly with the jokes, but it does tell some pretty funny jokes when it actually comes across. So you just saw how you can easily move, schedule, or book an appointment, send an email. The same thing happens with the Galaxy. It can happen. It is a painfully long process. Yes. It is a drawn, everything you say, it repeats it.
But I think it goes back to what you said, you know, a number of shows ago where you talked about voice recognition being the future. Galaxy's not there. And in reality, this one is getting there from a voice recognition perspective, but it needs a little bit more work on the mapping and all of the other associated.
Well, the map, we all know that was a bit. They've come into this launching it very short notice because of the negotiations with Google. So I'm not going to knock them on the map too much, because really with what they had to work with quickly to put it together, they actually did a pretty good job. But what's really key here is the question: do I get the new iPhone? Is it worth getting? And I mentioned to you before, if you've got an application on an older iPhone and it's slowing down, it's not, you know, you're finding like, oh, this takes forever to get what I'm looking for, then this might be a good choice. It upgrades it. The speed is twice as fast. It's got obviously the same elements. It's a little bigger. What's the real difference you're going to recognize? There's an extra layer here. There's 4 more icons. That's really what you're going to get, is an extra icon. The quality from a YouTube perspective is great. Obviously, we got to get a new app. You know, Apple's got to sort of work out its problems with Google, and meanwhile, Google's over here kind of, you know, figuring out how it's going to make his voice. That's actually a Samsung issue, that voice recognition. That's not a Google thing. So it's just on the hardware itself. But should you go get one? If you're happy with what you have and you like what you got,
not a big change.
Not a big change. If you like your voice recognition and you think it's something you'd like a bit improved, and Siri is going to be one of those assistant points you really want to take advantage of, then it's probably worth the investment. Until, you know, and again, all the apps and everything else that comes with it, you know, God bless. It will probably do what it needs to do. And on a side note, I've got with my friends behind me, AML Communications, AMLcares.com, I've got a little bit of a request, and I'm hoping that we can be able to do on one of our future segments of Tech Talk in the near future. We're going to be showcasing that new BlackBerry OS 10.
Oh,
yeah.
London.
It is definitely cool. Definitely. It's basically got the one...
Well, as you know, I'm not allowed to touch that.
Yeah, you can't touch this. But, you know, it's blasphemous, actually.
Well, exactly. Yeah. It's not a BlackBerry.
It's the new BlackBerry OS has the peak feature. It's got the ability to run everything with this baby right here. Now, if you don't have any thumbs, I highly recommend you go to Apple and use your nose. And just kind of use Siri. Okay? But if you...
So, you know, given that, and we of course haven't seen the new BlackBerry 10 and the London or whatever the new phone's going to be, and I'm sure they'll have variations of it.
Yes.
But this really wasn't enough of a change.
No, you know what? I'm not overwhelmed by it. I could be convinced based on the voice recognition.
It's a research in motion, coming off of a little bit of a high, because they had subscribers went up this past quarter. They're still in the loss end, but they're making money on their investments, and they're getting there. You think that you're hedging a little bit that January is going to be a pretty good month for research.
I have a feeling if they can do two things. One, I like what they've got so far, what I've seen so far, and it is a work in action right now. This is not a final, done deal yet. But what I do believe is going to work is that if they can get the developers, as they're trying, to support and back it, and I believe they're doing a good job. They're making a lot more incentives for developers, a lot more revenue opportunities, so on and so forth, and it's an easier operating system to work with, so that makes life a lot easier across the board. They got to get their apps up, meaning more 30,000 apps versus 1 million apps. Big difference. And number two is, and garbage apps, by the way, I might add. How many garbage programs have I seen on this? I mean, great, you got lots of apps, but please, and they're changing the rules now. And that's really going to change the game. Apple's changing their app rules now on how developers are getting showcased and seen, and that's really going to maybe change some minds. It's hard to come into the big pond with lots of fish. Meanwhile, this is an opportunity for BlackBerry and developers to say, hey, you know what? Cool operating system, easy to use. I can make the program easy from what I did on Apple, but now I can get it profiled. I might be moving over to BlackBerry. This could be an exciting time.
I'm looking forward to it.
So voice recognition to sell me. Number 2 is they got to get them apps up and running. As far as the operating system, good. It's nice. It's fresh. But got to increase and make that better. So that's how I feel about from a hardware operating system standpoint. One final note I want to share with you before we cut off for the day is Facebook. Big thing going on in Facebook, lots of controversy. You probably heard about it. In the last couple weeks, they've talked about they're not infringing on privacy issues. But what's happening is if you take a look, and a lot of people don't recognize it, in your timeline, when you sign into your Facebook, on the right-hand side, it's got all the years of when you were involved in Facebook. Most people signed in around 2005 to 2006. Been around since 2003, okay? So in those timelines between there, if you were posting or sending an email, they claim that's not true, but it is true. If you posted and sent an email to a friend, it's actually being posted in your timeline. So you can go to the year 2007, 2008, or 2009, right up to 2012, and you'll see a little box. It will claim friends, and in there will be all of your private messages that you and your friend had a discussion about. And it's not the dialogue between, it's the last message from that person. So there's a lot of information that's being broadcasted that wasn't necessarily. Now you can easily go in and remember you can hide it. You click the pencil, click hide from timeline, it's gone. So remember that. The second part is also what you put on Facebook stays on Facebook. Nothing gets deleted. Nothing gets deleted. It gets archived. And now Facebook is being used in the court system as evidence against people because you can now prove in court that say you have a disability, and this just happened literally about a week. I was talking to a friend of mine in the legal side, and he shared with me, lady claims that, oh, I can't wake up in the morning, my neck is killing me. On her Facebook, she's ATVing with pictures, with friends, this date at this time. So what you do on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, can now be pulled into court as evidence.
Wow. That'll change the face of Facebook.
Well, just be cautious. Just be cautious.
Well, you know what? And we've talked about that even here on Tech Talk, where we said be careful what you're using or putting on your Facebook or LinkedIn or any of those social media sites. You're handing it off to the world. Yeah, and that's the key is you know what? You're giving yourself, what happens in Vegas stays on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, after that funny note, we're going to have to cut off. But the pure and simple message from Adam Oldfield from FPM3 is, if you're happy with your current iPhone, keep it. It's probably okay. Yes. If you're not happy with it, you like the iPhone, probably check out the 5 and wait in line at your local AML store for as long as it takes. That's right. They'll be happy to help. But anyway, they'll be certainly happy to serve you on anything else, and even with your iPhone needs, and that's amlcares.com. You can see them online, or you can go in person, and Adam's got to rush this back. So one of you lucky viewers can buy this at your next AML store purchase. That's right. Thanks, Adam. Thank you, Greg. See ya. Take care.